This video is a sign for you. I'm recording this video with the intention that it will only be delivered to those who need to hear this message. Look, I don't know you, I don't know the exact goals you're working towards, but if you're listening to this, I know you have goals you want to achieve. Maybe it is a vision, a dream, or a goal that you have for your life. If you don't have a goal, you don't have any ambitions on changing anything about your life, then this video is not for you. So feel free to just click away, because this message is for those of you who have a goal and started taking steps towards that goal. So similarly to you, I also have goals. I am the type of person who's moved by goals. And this message here is just as much for you as it is for me. Because we need to constantly remind ourselves of the lessons that we learned in the past. I don't know the exact dream, vision, or goal that you're working towards, but I do know that when you start putting in the work to create that reality in your life, there will be times when things are going to get difficult and you are probably going to lose motivation because you don't see progress. So speaking from my own experience, I have felt that way so many times before, where I was showing up, putting in the work, doing my best day in and day out, and I felt like I had made no progress. I had zero results to show, and I was just losing motivation and struggling. For example, during my PhD, I had a goal of finishing it in under 6 years and publishing 4 first author publications. And in year 5, I had exactly 0 first author publications. In between year 5 and 6, I had finished or published 4 first author publications. So it seems like the 80-20% rule also applies for this, where 80% of the results will be shown at usually the tail end of 20% of the time. And that is because progress isn't linear. Between where you are and where you want to go, it's not like you're going to go like this. And not even like this. Most of the time, it's gonna be like this, and then you're gonna get there. There's this one quote that summarizes it all. Change is slow at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. When you set out on the journey, going from where you are to where you wanna go, it's gonna feel really slow at first, and the middle is going to be messy, really messy, until eventually you get to your goal. Let's make an analogy here so we can clearly visualize what this process really looks like. I want you to imagine you're going on a hike and you have a vision for this place where you want to go. Let's say it is a lake. As you start walking the path to get to the lake, you don't expect to see the lake, especially if it is a long enough hike, right? So at first you're gonna be putting in the work and you're not gonna see the results. You're not gonna see that you are getting closer to the lake. But you need to trust that by putting in the work and taking the steps, you are getting closer to the lake. So it's gonna feel like you're making no progress, and that's why change feels slow at first. And as you keep walking and trusting that you are going to eventually see this lake, you get to the messy middle, which is basically the place where you're walking and at times you see the lake, and then you keep walking and then you don't see the lake, and you keep walking, you see the lake again, and so on. Sometimes it's gonna feel like, yes, you're making progress because you can see the lake, and sometimes it's gonna feel like you have regressed because you can't see the lake, and that means you are in the messy middle. And as you get towards the end, you can clearly see progress in every single step you take because it's much clearer for you. You're much closer to the vision you had. If you're still watching this video, this is not a coincidence. This is a message for you. Keep taking steps towards your goals. One thing that I commonly see is that people overthink their goals too much. Instead of taking action, they just sit there and try to overthink their goals. Trust me, the longer you stand still overthinking your path, the longer you're gonna be stuck. But the best way to get closer to your vision is to set goals that are just within reach. In this hike analogy, that would be the equivalent of just looking around you to see what's there and thinking to yourself what's the best way to get to the lake. One key thing to understand here is that you can't see the whole path, so you need to basically take your best bet and set out on one direction. And as you walk towards that goal, you're going to see so many other possibilities as well, so many other small peaks that you may want to explore. And you may even feel called to set a different goal for yourself and pursue a different path. And if that is the case, you need to allow yourself to change your goal. Think about the worst case scenario here, which is that you start working towards the wrong goal. But in reality, what happens is that as you walk the wrong path, you're going to see the right goal for yourself so you can go and walk the right path. But if you don't walk the wrong path, you're not going to be able to see the right goal for you. And when you decide to let go of the wrong goal and embrace the right goal, be thankful for the wrong goal because it led you to getting to the right goal for you. I hope this analogy makes sense because personally, I've seen that in my life. Here's a lesson that I learned over the past 10 years. You don't necessarily need to keep working towards that goal or keep going beyond it. You can always choose a different path, and that's okay. So I did electrical engineering in college, and while doing the course, I had this vision for my life. When I finished my course, I could work as an electrical engineer in one of the companies around. But as I was pursuing this goal of finishing my electrical engineering degree, a new opportunity came around to do an exchange in Ireland. So I moved to Ireland for a year and I had the best time of my life. I learned a new language, I discovered a new culture, I traveled a lot, and I decided that I wanted to go back and live in Europe so I could explore more. So when I finished my electrical engineering degree, I had a different vision for my life. Now I wanted to live in Europe. I got a scholarship to do a PhD in artificial intelligence and animal behavior. And when I started doing my PhD, I had a vision that would allow me to work in one of the companies in Ireland. And while pursuing the goal of finishing my PhD, I started teaching kids. I loved the experience so much that I decided to found my own company to teach STEM subjects to kids. And because of that, I got really interested in developing my personal skills to get to the next level in my career and business by improving my productivity, time management, etc. And through developing my personal skills, I transformed all areas of my life, my wealth, health, and relationships. So that led me to creating content on personal growth to help others also create a real change in their lives. I'm sure no amount of overthinking would help 17-year-old Mari to figure out all this path at that age. I would never imagine what my life is like now. And looking back now, I can clearly see how each of the goals that I pursued in the past helped me develop the skills that are necessary for me as a content creator and coach. Engineering helped me with problem solving and analytical thinking. And because I did engineering, I had the chance to move to Ireland. And because I lived in Ireland for 8 years, I am now very confident to speak to the camera in English. And with my PhD, I learned so much about science, behavior, and systems, which allows me to really understand how to change our behavior and build systems that help us achieve our goals. And with my previous education business, I learned so much about online businesses and also teaching. Basically working towards those goals of becoming an engineer, moving to Ireland, doing a PhD, opening a business. All this led me to this point in my life. Becoming a content creator to motivate, inspire, and guide others in their personal growth journey so they can create a wealthier, healthier, and a happier life. Which is a path so aligned with my authentic self. The people in my life always told me how much I inspired them to become a better person, motivated them to build better habits, and had the best insights to help them live a better better life. So I really appreciate all the goals that I achieved in the past because they helped me develop the skills that I need to succeed as a content creator and coach. The moral of the story here is to stop overthinking your final purpose in life and start taking steps towards that goal that is just within your horizon, because as you move towards that goal, you also move towards your purpose in life. And that reinforces the message in this video, which is to keep walking towards your goals, because only by walking towards the goals you have now, you get closer to your vision for life. If you want your days to have a meaning, you need to set a goal that is just within your horizon, because every day when you wake up, you know what you're working towards, and that gives purpose to your days. And looking back, I can see that the lowest points in my life were when I didn't have a goal to work towards. Because when you don't have a goal, that's when you're going to lack the purpose, the meaning, the motivation in your life. Your goal can be something small that means something to you, something related to your career, a course you want to do. Maybe it is something related to your health, maybe getting better shape, learning new healthy recipes, or maybe it is something about travel, going exploring a different place that you always wanted to visit. It doesn't really matter what it is as long as it puts you in motion, because as you walk towards that goal, you're going to learn more about life and about yourself. And if you can see a different goal, a different peak in the mountain there that you want to explore, you can then set a new goal and start working towards that. If you're still watching, it means you got a lot of value from this video, so make sure to give it a like so it helps others on their personal growth journey as well, and subscribe to the channel for more videos on creating a wealthier, healthier and happier life. Leave a comment below to let me know if you related to anything I talked about in this video and how that helped you on your personal growth journey, and share this video with a friend who's also pursuing their goals. If you want to learn more about how I create my vision, set goals, and plan how to achieve my goals, make sure to watch this video next. I hope to see you there. Bye!